Thank you so much for joining me today for this chair yoga practice. My name is Christine. I am with Integrated Yoga Therapy here in Oregon, and I am practicing with a group live on Zoom. This group is a wonderful group of people that participate in activities and offer support from Breastfriends in Tigard, Oregon, for survivors of breast cancer, for their families. They are just a wonderful organization, and I have linked their website in the description box below if you or anyone you know might benefit from having their support. So all that being said, we're going to practice from our chair today. Make sure you have your feet on the ground. Bare feet is always wonderful so that we can let our toes get a little room and feel a little bit of air on our skin. But if you're wearing socks, it's pretty cold outside. Feel free to do that as well. And just right away, bring your knees over your ankles and feel your toes and your heels touching the ground. And really support yourself here. Feel your sit bones sitting on your chair. And begin to just notice your breath. Wherever you notice it, that very first place that it is most apparent to you. Maybe at the end of your nose, maybe in your belly, maybe the rise and fall of your shoulders. Just beginning to notice it. Not change anything yet. And just begin to welcome yourself to your practice today. So Brene Brown, a wonderful researcher and writer and teacher, says that we make a connection by seeing and hearing one another. And so reconnecting to each other and reconnecting ourselves requires our attention. So just focus to yourself, focus on yourself, focus on your breath, focus on how your body is feeling and how you are supported right here, right now, not just by your chair, but by me as a teacher, by this group that is also here experiencing different parts of what you might be experiencing. And we can all hold each other up in respect and in reverence and in compassion in this community. You might begin to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And really notice whatever thoughts might kind of be running around in your head. Maybe you might be telling yourself, I don't have time for this, or this is moving too slow, or whatever the story is. Maybe you're thinking about lunch or the weekend. Whatever it is, just begin to disengage from the thought and bring yourself down into your body where it is safe right now to be still, to be quiet. This is winter time and we are nature. Our bodies are natural and part of this rhythm that we experience here together. And so this is our time to come inward. This is our time to be quiet. This is our time to just rest and be still. And sometimes we get addicted to activity and rushing around, and it's kind of uncomfortable to just be bored and quiet and do nothing. So I invite you to give yourself permission to just be still. And as you're here still, reconnecting to yourself, begin to follow your breath. So you might notice that first place where you feel the inflow of the air at the end of your nostrils. And then just kind of track how it moves down your throat, through your chest, out into your lungs. The diaphragm drops down. Maybe the belly expands as the abdominal organs are pushed outward. And then as you exhale, you might notice a softening of the belly, a lifting of the diaphragm, drawing inward of the lungs and up and out the nostrils. So just follow your breath. And as you're here, relax your shoulders, soften the skin around your eyes, and release your jaw, maybe bringing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. And let's just be here in stillness for one more minute, just 60 seconds. And as you're here, I'd like to read to you a quote by one of my teachers, Barry Reisman. You can find her online on, she has free videos on YouTube as well. And she talks about how our Western culture kind of gives us a certain perception of yoga. But with yoga, she says, we learn to inhabit our bodies with kindness, compassion, respect, and maybe even joy. No longer an obstacle to be overcome, the body becomes our most trusted ally on our journey toward reclaiming our wholeness. So just notice how those words feel as they drop into your heart. What does that mean to you to be reclaiming wholeness? So maybe we might set an intention for ourselves today, for our practice, to be on the journey to reclaiming wholeness, to embracing our bodies as our ally in that journey. Then let's bring one hand and then the other over the chest, right over the center of the chest. Relax your shoulders, let your elbows be heavy, and kind of lift your heart up into your hands. And you might tuck your chin gently, find a little length along the back of your neck. And then we'll inhale together, and as we exhale, let's just hum. So it'll be an inhale through the nose, and an exhale with the lips pressed together. Just let the hum fade away. Come back to your regular breath. Just watching it, following its journey. And then let's do that twice more. In your own timing, as you're ready, inhale through your nose and exhale with a hum. As you experience the hum, you might also follow the path of the vibration that you feel in your body. It might be really subtle, it might even be undetectable, or it might expand up into your jaw, across your chest, up into your shoulders, your throat. One final time, and then we'll begin to move. Done. Just release your hands. They might rest palm up in your lap. Just having that sense of openness. And then we'll begin to move a little bit here. So I want you to turn your palms over if you like, or leave them up, or have them at your sides. This is your practice. So I'm going to make suggestions of how you might move your body. Feel free to skip whatever doesn't feel good in your body. Just take care of yourself. You don't need to explain to anyone why you're not doing something. Just feel what feels right to you and move with the boundaries that your body shows you today. So let's go ahead and just begin to tap our heels on the ground. Just kind of a little bounce. Very softly, not super hard. Keep your toes and the balls of your feet on the floor. You might rest your hands on your thighs or your knees, or again, have them dangle at your side. It might like to move more of your body, so you might even begin to swing your arms here. And you might begin to find a rhythm where you're sort of working the hands and the feet in a harmonious way. And you can do this standing as well if you like, keeping a soft bend in your knees and just bouncing in your heels, maybe letting your hands simply shake, or maybe swinging them forward and back. So whatever feels good to you, continue on, just getting a little movement. Just saying hello to all your joints, starting to warm up the body a little bit. And if you like, you might like to reach the arms out a little higher, maybe shake the hands a bit, maybe up to shoulder height, or maybe even up towards the sky. So whatever feels good for you. Just let your hands kind of flop, let your wrists be loose. And then begin to bring those arms down if they're lifted. And then start to slow the movement down and come back to seated or standing at your center, feeling your feet on the ground. And just close your eyes if you're able to here and notice what you notice. You might notice a sense of tingling or aliveness or energy or buzzing. Just be with it yourself, connect to yourself, integrate your body with your mind. And then we'll begin to do a little twisting motion. So here, you might just begin to kind of swing your arms from side to side. If you're sitting, you've got that chair back there that might get in the way, and your knees might be in the way too, but that's okay. They're your knees. They deserve to be there. So just a little gentle swing from side to side. Just let your arms be heavy. Let your hands just touch your legs gently. Make sure not to hurt yourself here by moving too fast or too hard or forcing anything. And if you've got arms on the chair, you might scoot a little farther forward maybe. Or you might come to stand with a gentle bend in your knees and just swing your arms gently from side to side. Keeping your feet on the ground, feel all 10 toes touching down, whether you're seated or standing, and draw yourself up to a nice tall spine. And here, if you're standing, you have a little more freedom of movement. And again, you can just let your hands touch your hips, your side body as you swing from side to side, or maybe you might reach your arms up a little higher. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Good job. We're showing up. We're reconnecting. We're embracing ourselves, reclaiming our wholeness and our allyship with our bodies. And again, if you've got those arms raised up, begin to lower them down gently. Coming back to center. And coming back to stillness. Bring your feet back under your knees. Rest your hands to your sides or in your lap. And just again, take a moment to reconnect with yourself. Pay attention to yourself. What are you noticing? What's happening in your body right now? Maybe you feel a little warmer. And then we're going to begin to move the spine in a forward and back motion. Many of you know this as cat-cow. So again, from seated, you can start here. You can do this from standing. We're just going to inhale to look up towards the sky, open up across your collarbones, and then exhale to bring the chin down towards your throat, stretch the back of the neck. And continue moving here just as far as your neck is happy with. If your neck movement is limited, you might be very subtle here with your movement, perhaps just looking up here and down here. Just finding your edge that works best for you. If you want more sensation, you can begin to round the spine a bit. So as you inhale into cow, you might arch your back, draw your belly button forward. And as you exhale, you could round the back and draw the belly button in. Maybe your chin comes down towards your heart, maybe even touches the center of your chest. And you might focus on those shoulder blades, opening them up as you round into cat and drawing them closer together as you inhale into cow. Now again, you can be doing this seated or you can be doing this standing. You can keep your arms low. Or you might begin to open up your arms as you inhale into cow, bend your elbows and come into cactus arms. And then as you round into cat, draw your elbows and your forearms as close as feels good to you. Just finding that first boundary here. Inhale as you open up, and again, your elbows might be low or they might be at shoulder height. And exhale as you round inward. Maybe your palms touch, maybe your elbows touch, maybe they don't get anywhere near each other, and that is okay. We're just drawing them inward towards one another. And again, you can stay here seated, or you might come to stand. Press into your feet, keep a bend in your knees, maybe really straightening as you inhale and look up, and bending your knees and drawing the elbows in towards the belly. So lots and lots of options here. Everybody is on a different journey. Wouldn't it be boring if we all had the same journey? So embrace your journey and do what's right for you today. Just a few more times here. I'm finding the chair back here for me again. And then one more time, let's inhale, open up as much as feels good to you. Exhale, let your head come back to neutral. Bring your arms down by your sides. And just take a moment to feel what you feel. Maybe rest your hands in your lap if that feels more natural to you. And just notice your breath, notice the beating of your heart. Maybe close your eyes to give yourself an opportunity to look for those sensations. We're not chasing sensations, but we're just looking to see what happens. What happens when we move our bodies a certain way? And then let's go ahead and do a little stretching here now that we're a little warmer. Let's extend that right leg out long. Just come to your heel and then point and flex your right foot. So point the toes down towards the ground. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't get anywhere near. If pointing the toes doesn't feel good, you can kind of come into a Barbie sort of a shape, like a high heel shoe, pressing into the ball of the foot, or pointing the toes. And I'm just showing you from the side. So that's pointing, that's pressing into the ball. So whatever feels right. And then the next time you point your toes up towards the sky, we'll keep them there. Inhale a nice tall spine here, and exhale to bow forward. And again, if standing is better option for you today, you can do this from standing simply by extending that right leg out long, bending into the left knee and bowing forward over that right leg. It'll be a different stretch, not better or worse, just different. So find what feels good for you. And then begin to follow your breath again. Just 3 breaths right here. Notice when the breath comes in, where it goes, where you feel expansion. And then notice how it flows outward again. No pressure on the knee. I'm just resting my hand here on my knee, but I'm not pushing and I'm not locking the knee. And when you found those 3 breaths, just walk yourself back up to a tall spine. And then we'll lift that right knee, maybe hold on to the back of your thigh. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can keep the foot on the ground, but we're gonna make some circles in that ankle. So if the foot's on the ground, just come up to your toes and make your circles here. Otherwise, you can lift that right knee. If you're feeling stronger today, maybe you just lift the right knee on its own without the support of your hands. But we're just going to circle that right ankle a few times in each direction, and then the other direction. And then point and flex the toe again. And then we're going to circle that knee a few times in each direction. So again, if the foot is lifted, pretty easy to do, kind of a hinge joint here so it doesn't move the same way. If you're on the ground, just kind of do your best to include your knee in your ankle circles. And then we'll move to the opposite side. So let's extend the left leg out long. Point and flex the foot a few times, just warming up the foot. You might hear a little snap, crackle, pop from my end. I have noisy ankles. And then we'll point the toes up to the sky. Inhale, find a nice tall spine, and exhale, walk your hands forward across your thighs. No pressure on that knee. Don't lock that knee, but keep it as straight as you're able. And breathe your breath. Notice all the places you feel expansion as you inhale. And all the places you might soften as you exhale. Again, checking in with the muscles of the face, especially the jaw. And then use your next inhale, walk your hands back up your thighs, and then we'll make those circles in the left ankle. So again, with the foot on the ground, or with the support of your hands, or you might lift it and just keep your tall spine, maybe taking your arms out to the side. Make sure you reverse the circles. And then get some movement in the knee, whether the leg is grounded or not. And again, you can do this from standing and just use your chair for balance if you need to reach out with a hand. And then we'll set that foot down. And just take a moment here. Once again, notice what you notice. Be with your body, building that allyship, that trust. Relax the jaw. And then let's inhale, open up the arms. Exhale, wrap your arms around yourself. Bring that right arm on top. Elbows are pointing forward here, and just give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. You might walk your fingers back a little farther towards the backs of your shoulders, or maybe it's more comfortable to hold your upper arms here. Whatever feels right in your body, just kind of exploring. But when you get there, hold yourself with compassion, with that sense of friendship and allyship with yourself. And then it might be nice to stay right here or extend that right arm out straight and sort of hug it in towards your chest with your left hand and stretch across the back of the shoulder, the upper back, and anywhere else you notice sensation. And as always, you're welcome to keep your eyes open or close them. You're welcome to follow your breath if that feels supportive to you. And then use your next inhale to open your arms up nice and wide again, and exhale, left arm on top this time. Just giving yourself a nice healthy squeeze here, showing up for yourself. Follow your breath, soften the face, and maybe extend that left arm and hug it in with the right hand, any amount. Just a couple more breaths here. Use your next inhale to open up your arms again as much as feels good to you. Exhale, release your hands, and we're just gonna circle the shoulders up and down and back, and then up and forward and down. Just kind of reversing, saying hello to both of those shoulders in both directions, but finish up with the up and down and back so that you end up with a nice lifted heart. And then we'll bring the hands again to rest on the thighs, palms up. And we're just gonna touch the right shoulder with the right fingers, and then the left shoulder with the left fingers. And again, maybe you're very tight in the chest and the arms and you only come up partway or halfway. That's all right. We're just bringing those fingertips toward the shoulders. Let's do one more time each side. And then cross the body. Right arm towards the left shoulder, left arm towards the right shoulder. Those bilateral movements are really great for neuroplasticity and for bringing balance to our nervous systems. And the movement in the arms and the shoulders is really healthy, especially if you're recovering from surgery or still getting used to your range of motion. One more time to each side. And then we'll turn those palms down for a moment. And then we'll do the same kind of thing in the legs. Similar bilateral movement, but not the same movement. We're just gonna pick up the right knee and then the left knee. And again, maybe we don't pick up very far. Maybe you're doing this from standing. Use the back of your chair for balance. Or maybe you might send your foot out nice and straight. Just a couple more times each side. If you're doing this from standing, this is really going to be a challenge if you're sending the legs out long. Just a couple more times each side. Next time you raise that left foot's the last time. Bring both feet back underneath your knees and just windshield wiper your knees gently from side to side. And then just take a moment to sit with yourself. Again, softening your gaze or closing your eyes so that you can come inward. And just notice what you notice in your body. The invitation here is for you to feel what your body needs and to give it to yourself. So it might be some neck rotations, it might be more cat and cows, it might be more twisting from side to side. Maybe it's rubbing your tummy or coming back to that hug. Whatever it is, honor yourself. Maybe it is to find stillness once again. Maybe it is to stand up and take a nice, long, full body stretch. In fact, that's what my body wants right now. So I could do that right here from my chair, bring in some cat-like energy. I might stretch one leg out and then the other. Or maybe I want to stand up and stretch and open up my hips. Whatever you feel is right for your body, just 30 more seconds of giving that to yourself, honoring yourself, making that connection with yourself. And when you've had enough of that, we'll all come back to stillness. And with your gaze soft or your eyes closed, find your tall spine. Reconnect to your feet on the ground, your sit bones in your chair, your hands resting on your lap. And the breath, just following the breath. And as you're here, you might bring to mind a time when you had some difficulty in your life. Maybe it was when you got your diagnosis. Maybe it was a difficult childhood experience. Maybe it was not getting the job you wanted. Maybe it was seeing a child suffer or a friend. Just whatever the first thing is that comes to your mind, a time when you've had some difficult experience. And if you are able to picture yourself, you might picture what your hair looked like, what you were wearing, where you were, who else was with you. And as you see yourself experiencing this difficult time, you might imagine standing close enough to that self to reach out a hand, to touch your shoulder, to hold your hand, maybe to wrap your arm around yourself. And you might tell yourself that you are here, you are healing now, that you are here as an ally for that self, that you are here to pay attention to them. You might imagine yourself saying the words that you needed to hear then. And just be there for another half a minute, keeping your body soft. You might notice some sensations come up as you visualize yourself in this difficult time. And then once more, you might physically hold yourself in whatever way feels comfortable. And at the same time, imagine yourself holding that part of you that had that difficult time. And just let them know that you're here for them, that you love them, that you care about them, that you are their champion. One more full breath here. And then as you exhale, you might release your hands, or you can stick with the hug if you like. Bring your palms together to touch at your heart, and maybe bow your chin towards your chest in gratitude for yourself, showing up for yourself. Thank you all so much for practicing here with me today. The light and the love that resides within me honors that same light and love that is within each one of you. Namaste.